Welcome to the 12 Days of Christmas, and in this episode we are going to be reviewing the team that finished in 6th place, which was Mclaren Honda. Now, Mclaren Honda coming into 2016 off the back of a very, very disappointing 2015, guys. I'm sure no McLaren fan, as myself, wants to remember 2015. You know, it was just absolutely terrible. The car was just all over the place. So coming into 2016, now McLaren and Honda obviously had a bit of a, weren't really getting on because of what happened in 2015. So, and the people were saying, Honda are more reliable now. They're more confident with the car. So when they were doing the runs out in pre-season, the car looked better. They got a lot more running out of it, which was excellent. So obviously more laps compared to last year. So obviously understood the car a lot more, got more run-ins, we got more mileage, which is very, 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 very crucial. Obviously when you're doing pre-season. So heading into Australia, obviously retaining the two veteran drivers of Jenson Button and Fernando Alonso. And for me, I think what happened with Fernando Alonso pretty much started the controversy season of 2016. Because let's face it, guys, it was a very, very controversial and talked about season in terms of what happened on and off the track. So Fernando Alonso obviously coming together with Esteban Gutierrez, having a massive accident. Obviously very fortunate that he got out of the car unscathed. Had a bit of an injury which allowed him to which made him sit out of the next Grand Prix in Bahrain. Jenson Button, however, finished the race in 14th place, so no points scored for McLaren, but the car looked good. I remember at this time I was thinking, right, the car looks good, I'm very confident in it, I'm excited as to what McLaren has to offer. So we jumped a couple of weeks into Bahrain under the lights, and Stoffel Vandoorne replaces Fernando Alonso for one race while he recovers. So, and he actually scores the team's first point. He finished in P10. Jenson Button, however, unfortunately retired due to, I think it was a technical problem, some sort of glitch in the system with the car, which is a bit of a common thing to say from McLaren Honda. So Stoffel Vandoorne kicked things off for McLaren, scoring the first point in a while, let's say, compared to last season. I think probably about Hungary was the last time they scored points last season. So, kicking things off, young guy, beating the two veteran drivers, so everyone was tipping him for very good things. Will he get a drive in 2017 because of this performance? Stay tuned to find out. In China, Fernando Alonso finished in P12, Jenson Button finished in P13. In Russia, now things were getting serious because Fernando Alonso finished in P6, Jenson Button finished in P10. Happy days, finally both cars have scored very early on, so this is McLaren Honda's best result in a long time since Hungary 2015, and obviously so far their best result of the season. Jumping into the first home, Fernando Alonso's home Grand Prix, but also the first European Grand Prix of the season. Fernando Alonso retired, but Jenson Button managed to score some points. Brilliant. Now, what's even better than the performance in Russia, the performance what happened in Monaco, because Fernando Alonso finished in P5. P5, guys, that's amazing for Fernando Alonso. Jenson Button finished in P9. Yet again, some more point scoring finishes. Now I remember last season in 2015, McLaren Honda scored their first point at Monaco. So, and again, they did have a lot of help from other teams. So, I think they did it again. This time, obviously, like I said in a few episodes ago, both Saubers coming together. It was raining as well. Jenson Button loves rain, as does Alonso. The car comes alive in the rain. So, again, that was a brilliant result for McLaren. Very happy with that. Elevated us up in the table, away from the likes of Haas, Renault, and teams like that who were actually at the time on a level par with McLaren. At the Canadian Grand Prix, very memorable Grand Prix for Jenson Button there. He unfortunately retired. Fernando Alonso finished in 11th place. A retirement followed for Fernando Alonso at the next Grand Prix at the newly formed European Grand Prix in Baku. And Jenson Button finished in P11. At the Austrian Grand Prix, Fernando Alonso finished in P18. However, Jenson Button finished in P6. Now, this is probably one of the most memorable Grand Prix for Jenson Button, because he started the race in P3. He started in P5, he qualified in P5. He jumped up into P3 due to a couple of disqualifications and obviously shuffling off the grid. Then, who knew it? He actually makes a good start and ends up going into P2 for a handful of laps. And then McLaren Honda power kicked in and he sort of slowly went back and back and back. But he did a good race to finish in P6. Very happy about that. At the British Grand Prix, Jenson Button's bogey Grand Prix, I would say. Fernando Alonso P13, Jenson Button in P12. A retirement follow for Jenson Button at the Hungarian Grand Prix, and Fernando Alonso finished in P7. And at the German Grand Prix, Fernando Alonso finished in P12, followed by Jenson Button in P8. So, judging of them performances, I am very satisfied. I am giving the big thumbs up for McLaren Honda so far. the biggest ones up possibly so far of the series. And obviously 2015 was a very difficult year for McLaren. It was a lot to take in. No title sponsorships, losing money thick and fast. 2016, they got a few more sponsors on the car, but the overalls look bare. It was these are dark times for McLaren, but the performances and the team spirit, kept them going. A few Q2 appearances, I think even a Q3 appearances for Fernando Alonso, and again with Jensen Button as well. So very, very positive there. So obviously Honda, however, have done their homework on this engine, giving it to McLaren a very powerful, a very good engine, a lot more powerful than last season. So I think McLaren Honda were very, very, very much happy going into the summer break. So I'll say, as I said before, McLaren Honda, how would you judge their first half of the season, judging from what you've seen in 2015? Do you think 2016 was a good stepping stone for them going into the next part of the season?
Yeah, exactly, JT. I mean, obviously, anything's better than 2015. As I say, I mean, us two could run faster than the 2015 McLaren. The 2016 was really, really good.
I'm sure HRT had more reliability than that car.
Yeah, I think so. And Super Aguri and all them. But obviously, it's very unfortunate that Fernando Alonso got a retirement at his home event in Spain, because if he didn't, obviously that means he could have possibly, if he got in the points in Spain, which obviously again was a good race for him until he retired, and that means they could have been on for three double points in the team. So you could call it the triple-double if you were going to steal the words from Red Bull. But obviously, JT, it was really, really good. I was so happy to see McLaren back like that. Obviously, they're a great team. Obviously, I remember Austria as well. It was a fantastic race. And obviously, anything had to be better than Fernando Alonso's, obviously, his 20... the Austrian Grand Prix where he collided with Kimi Räikkönen. Remember that, obviously.
Yeah.
We all remember that. Anything had to be better than that was great for that. Obviously, and as JT said, the biggest thing, Jensen Button's bogey race is Britain. Obviously, unfortunately, he has never won it, and he probably won't ever, because obviously we're going a bit ahead of ourselves. But so Jensen has retired now, which we'll get in a bit of it in this episode. But obviously, the chance of him returning very slim, very almost slim to nil. So he probably won't ever win it again. But so much, it's so much improvement. JT, it really is great. Obviously, the sums up from me, and I'd give obviously the drivers probably C's, and the car I'd give it a C as well. Just obviously mid-level C, very strong from them. It was great. So obviously we headed into Spa again, a track obviously that Fernando Alonso and Jensen Button liked, because obviously they're old drivers one of the oldest drivers in Formula One. So what could they do in Spa? Well, unfortunately, Jensen Button retired, but Fernando Alonso finished in 7th place, which again was fantastic for them. So they've kicked off the season, the second part of the season, with the right foot forward. Obviously, with the 7th place is what they wanted. The next race in Italy, obviously Fernando Alonso loves this circuit. Obviously, when he was a Ferrari driver, the Tifosi loved him. I don't think they love him so much now that he's in silver, or their kind of home colours are rubbish colours of McLaren. But obviously, he's an ex-driver. Grey. Obviously, they would still really like him. Obviously, he finished in 14th position. His car number, and Jensen Button finished in P12. Then the next race, it was in Singapore. It was a retirement for Jensen Button, but again a 7th place now for Fernando Alonso. So he's now getting back in the groove. It's really, really great. And then again in Malaysia, Fernando Alonso finishes in 7th place again. Jensen Button finishes in 9th, so there's a double points finish for them, which is really, really great. Heading into Japan, which is the next round, obviously Jensen Button really likes this circuit. It was an 18th for Jensen Button and a 16th for Fernando Alonso, which again wasn't great. But now we head into the United States Grand Prix in Austin. It's a 5th place for Fernando Alonso and a 9th place for Jensen Button. So it's really, really now it's looking really, really strong for them, which is really great. They have so much established points now. Obviously, they're very much clear of Toro Rosso now. Obviously, before a few races ago, the talk was, could Toro Rosso catch McLaren? Now it is very much like, no, it's never going to happen again. The chances now, as I've said before, they're slim to nil. So that'll never happen before. So we head obviously into the Mexican Grand Prix. It was a 12th for Jensen and a 13th for Fernando. A 10th place finish, or a points finish in Brazil for Fernando Alonso. And then Jensen Button comes to Interlagos, which by the way marks the 4-year mark that McLaren took their last win in Formula 1 and Jensen Button took his last win in Formula 1. It was a 16th finish for him, so not very good.
You didn't have to remind me, LC. You didn't have to remind me.
Oh, I know. I know. JT, just to tell you again. Did you know it was 4 years? I'm not sure people are aware of that. But as I've said before, remember Williams 6 years. So you've got 2 years left to win before the next. No, it's not. Sorry, it's 8 years. So that would be 2020. So you've got 3 years left. Obviously, next season, 2018, 2019, and 2020 season. We'll get into that. Obviously, later down the line. I'll always be counting those days, mind. So that's the points finish for Fernando Alonso. 16th for Jenson Button. Brazil wasn't very good. And then now we head in Jenson Button's final race with McLaren. He says possibly, but he's been in a lot more interviews where he said he's counted as his last race, or he did count as his last race. Sorry, he still is. And in his mind, he doesn't want to be in Formula One. He's not going to be in a car. But obviously, he's very open to the fact that his mind might change. Anyway, unfortunately, he retired from the race, and Fernando Alonso takes his 10th place, his second points finish in a row. So obviously, it's very strong from them overall. I mean, their season, is very, very nice.
Yeah.
I'm very happy with McLaren. Obviously, 76 points. They took they ran away from Toro Rosso a few rounds ago. Obviously, the chances of climbing that ladder and obviously catching up to Williams is almost. I don't that obviously that wasn't possible. Obviously, it was 138 points to 76. Obviously, really, I don't think they'd ever catch them. But it was very, very strong for them. Obviously, some good points finishes was really, really great. If I had to say their best races, I'd probably say Jenson Button's probably came at the Austrian Grand Prix, and Fernando Alonso's, I'd probably say it was the Malaysian Grand Prix. Obviously, the final 7th finish that he did. Obviously, he got 7th place in Singapore, but it was a great race from him. So if I had to say their two best races in the season, I would definitely say that Jenson's was fantastic Austria. So it's probably been his best highlight, I'd say, since obviously he took his final win in Intergalos in 2012 with McLaren Mercedes. So it was really, really great from them. And as grades go, there's not much between Jenson and Fernando, so I'd probably give them strong C's, as I did for the first half. Again, the car is a C, not too good, not too bad, but as JD said, it's a great diving board, it's a great, or trampoline even if you want to say, it's something that will spring them in 2017, in the winter testing and all that, in very high spirits, and obviously that is what they need. So JT, obviously your team McLaren, they've had some very good points finishes in the first half of the season, as you said, in the second part of the season as well, some doubles, some points finishes on the bounce. Productive season, would you say? And as you said at the start of the season, is this a great benchmark for them to almost take a leap into 2017 season, obviously with Alonso and Van Dorn?
Yes, I think the future is looking bright for McLaren Honda, definitely. I think the progress from 2015 into 2016 just shows how how Honda they actually do give a damn. They are trying to make progress. They're trying to understand the regulations. They're trying to make a very powerful engine. And obviously people have been saying, give it a few years, McLaren Honda will be back to where they were and stuff like that. And I don't count your chickens just yet on that, because it does take a lot of time and a lot of effort to actually understand how the engine is, how it's going to be as powerful, and hopefully one day we'll bring back them glory days. So obviously, as Elsie just said, Jenson Button is now retired. He's left Formula One for now at least, anyways. For 2017. Comes in is obviously Alonso's replacement in Bahrain, Stoffel Van Dorn. Very, very excited about Stoffel Van Dorn. See what he has to offer. Let's hope he has a good season. As we've seen in the recent past of McLaren, K-Mag and Checo had only had one chance to prove themselves at McLaren, which was a bit annoying, really. Alonso's now had 3. 2017 will be his 3rd season with McLaren. So Van Dorn, I think he has a good chat with it. He has been with the team for a while. So I think he understands what the team's going through. He understands what the team wants, what the team expects from him. So I'm very excited to see what he has to offer. And hopefully, if McLaren Honda do give us, I keep saying McLaren Honda for some reason. If Honda give us a good engine and a good power unit and everything, and McLaren could finish off the rest, just sand down some rough edges on the car, then I'm pretty sure we are in for a good 2017. Let's hope we can push, give Alonso and Van Dorn some race wins, podiums, and maybe even some pole positions as well. Just to add a few things.
The thing that I'm looking forward to quickly, JT, just on Stoffel Van Dorn, is his battle with Max Verstappen, which obviously were really good. As you know, obviously Netherlands and Belgium, obviously very close countries. Spa is considered Max Verstappen's home race. It will obviously be Van Dorn's home race. Their battles will be great. It was brought up obviously in Spa between Verstappen and obviously Van Dorn was there. The turnout will be amazing. Obviously Spa is definitely on the list of what me and JT want to go to in the future.
It is definitely. Yes, exactly. So as Elsie just said there, future is looking bright for McLaren Honda. So let's hope we can go forth, go about 2017. Hopefully one day bring back the championship back to Woking. So anyway, guys, we're going to wrap this episode here. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. As ever, very, very appreciative about that. Don't forget to check out yesterday's video when we did Toro Rosso. Don't forget to check out tomorrow's video when we talk about Williams. So obviously, very much progress going on here in the Christmas, 12 days of Christmas, and we're now another day closer to the big man coming down your chimney, which sounds really, really weird, but trust me, guys, if you understand Christmas, you know exactly what I'm on about. So anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, see you tomorrow, guys.